All good, Coach. Thank you for the time. We're going to start with Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Craig Fooey.
Hey, Monty, when you see the amount of defensive coverages that are being thrown at Devin and Chris in this series and last series, you guys have been able to manage it really well. I was just wondering if this kind of goes back to the start of the season where you're influencing like your offensive philosophies on the team, because it just seems like everything is coming together at the right time for you guys on that end and you keep playing as a team.
Well, we teach a lot of stuff, situations and different coverages. We try to drill certain things, but, you can't take away from the ability and the vision of Chris and Book and their willingness to make the right plays. Don't think Devin gets enough credit for, those plays that he makes where a guy doesn't make the shot. And when I watch film, I can see his effort to make the play. Chris, he just figures stuff out. And it helps, I think, to, I've said this before, the schedule that we had the last part of the season where we played so many good teams on the road and we were seeing different defenses, switching defenses, traps, drop defenses. Some teams would zone us, all that stuff, I think helps you in these moments. So as a staff, we try to put our guys in situations where they can see things. We show it on film, but those guys have an ability to make plays on the floor.
Next is Craig Fooey with ABC 15, and then Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Monty, Michael Malone said last night after the game, a couple of Denver players said they just were struggling to cover Chris. Just couldn't do it. And the statistics obviously prove them out. But what do you anticipate coming in game 4 then tomorrow night?
Well, Mike's a really good defensive coach. I worked with him in New Orleans, so his stuff is sound. He taught me a lot on the defensive side of the floor. I would expect that they're going to, do what they've done and try to do it better. We may see some traps tomorrow. They may try to deny Chris or, that kind of thing. But my hope is that we've been in enough situations this year where we're ready for it. And to me, it's always the backside of those things. When Mikhail, Cam, Torrey, Jay, when those guys get the ball on the backside of it, when teams try to take Devin and Chris out, that we can make the right play.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Gina Mizell.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, James has been going on the road with you guys in the postseason. Just curious how much that means to. I know that other GMs do it, but how much it means to have him not only there but also be a voice, as well. Because obviously that was the case with determining Chris playing the one game in particular, and then just him being there. How much has that meant or means for you guys to have James there for the game on the road?
Yeah, it's another voice for me to hear a different perspective on the game or a player or a situation. You alluded to the situation we had with Chris in LA. That was a big time conversation with me, Chris and James. And I'm just grateful that all three of us were able to be in that room together. James has been in a lot of situations as a player, and I rely on his input when it comes to practice or something he sees in a game, or just listening to him talk about certain things that he's seeing on the floor that I may not even ask him about. I'll just sit and listen, and he'll give me an idea. So it's huge to have him on the road with us.
Quick follow. I looked at looking at last night's game, where you're watching the game and you're going, okay, Cam Johnson was just he makes a play where he gets a block on Jermichael, then back down the other end, and gets the offensive rebound that leads to a three. When you see sequences like that for someone like Cam making this first playoff appearance, because obviously he's not a starter, what does that mean in terms of wow, he's growing into this playoff situation? Yeah,
Cam is more than a shooter. That's the thing that I've said for the past 2 years, he has more in his game than just shooting the ball. And you saw that last night, blocking the shot, going after 50-50 balls and coming up with them. I thought the charge he took on Gordon was a huge play. I'm trying to figure out ways to get him more shots. I don't think he's getting enough shots in the game because he can shoot the ball. But, you know, these guys are growing up on the fly. But I've said it already. I really feel like this season, with all the adversity from a basketball perspective with COVID and the testing and the crazy schedule, has really helped our team get ready for, you know, these types of moments.
One or two questions are Gina Mizell with Suns.com and Nick King.
Hey, Monty, you kind of just alluded to this in talking about handling different defensive coverages, but something Chris mentioned after, I think it was game one, was just how gratifying it's been for him to see stuff that you've drilled in practice over and over, like really showing up in these types of moments. And so, what do you feel like for you, what is showing up? It sounds simplistic, but yes, of course, what carries over from practice will carry to a game, but just maybe what is really showing right now and how important has that been, especially given, like you said, the schedule and just not having as much practice time as you maybe would in a normal season?
Well, I think it speaks to the players' ability to buy into what we're trying to teach. It's not always that easy to get guys to, you know, see the things that we see or implement stuff and have them say, okay, we'll do it. That's not always the case. There's been a great deal of buy-in this year. We didn't have the practice time, so a lot of our meetings were walkthroughs where we tried to show them situations and we listened to their input. There was a meeting we had about 2 weeks ago, and we were trying to figure out the best way to deal with a certain trap that a team was throwing at us. And we, as a staff, were wanting to do it one way. And the players, Jay and Book and Chris, respectfully said, Coach, you know, what do you think about this? And when we looked at it, it made more sense than what I was trying to do. So I think there's this partnership with all of us. As I've told the players, I'm not trying to be right. I just want to be effective. And I think when we have that kind of relationship and we're able to walk through a lot of these situations, you know, you can see the residual effect on the floor. I'm hopeful that we'll continue to do it and execute when we need to.
Our question is Nick King with Channel 3, Channel 5.
Monty, I know you guys always feel like there's more you can do consistently, but after watching this team win 6 straight and 5 of them really in a super impressive fashion, like is there another level that this team can go to? What can you guys do to be even better at this point?
We gave up 18 offensive rebounds last night. So that's not something that we want to continue. We have to complement our defense with the rebound, and then giving teams that many possessions in a game, that's not something that we want to repeat. So there's always room to move the needle. That's where my mind was today. We talked about it as a team. We need everybody in the paint rebounding. There were times last night where we contested a shot and we leaked out, and the ball came right where that guy who contested the shot could have gotten the board. So that's a point of emphasis for us today and tomorrow as we get ready to play against a tough team on their home floor.
Thank you for the time, Coach.
Thank you.